This is Jim Cameron. I'm here with my co-writer,
Bill Wisher.
William Wisher. Bill to his friend.
I think that's my favorite part of both the films. I mean, it is the same theme running through both. And
now here we're creating a touchstone. We're creating a touchstone for the audience by doing the same thing we did in the first film.
I think the answer is simply that he would kill...
I got into a huge argument with the editors over using this song.
Oh, yeah?
Because it had already been used in a couple of other films, and I think another film was planning on using it. And I think we pretty much wrote the script in a couple of months, as I recall.
I think it was 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And we spent...
that sounds about right.
A few days in the beginning, you and I and Randy Frakes talking...
Here's an interesting little side note here. This is the 6th Street Bridge.
I remember we discussed...
That's Jeanette Goldstein from Aliens.
Because he's designed as an infiltration unit. Well, once Arnold became cast, that all shifted and went away. And I remember at a certain point, we said, well,
so this was just an office building that we turned into a prison, actually.
I remember...
haven't said anything about Eddie yet. Eddie was another great find.
And then, of course, this is a scene where we were hoping, in the first weekend before anyone saw it, clearly Robert...
And this is the Doubting Thomas scene where he has to put his hand in the wound.
Right. But
I always love this. This is a director moment here.
And because he knows who this guy is, and he's just explained, that I'm here to help you.
Look at this night photography. This is so beautiful.
I mean, even before the Terminator shows up, he's not bossing around, but he's clearly in charge of his little friend when they're doing their hoodlum stuff together. John's always...
See, I love this moment because you really think that...
Well, I always thought of this.
And Linda would not...
Now, we went and talked a lot.
Now, Linda's a twin. Here's an interesting thing.
This is one of the things that I always liked about this was...
this is where he's reading off the card.
When we first were thinking of this sequence,
it falls into that
whole different thing where it was an ex-boyfriend.
This falls into that category
that shot of her skin burning like paper. I think it actually was some sort of paper, and the skeleton underneath.
Talk about banging your theme over the head here.
When you blew the building,
this guy right here was
trench in front of it.
This guy right here was Eddie Furlong's acting coach. She just looks so like crazed there. We go all the way. I love that moment. This is where it all starts to come together.
Dropping a GE minigun on the floor, I don't think is
like this.
Really
human casualties 0.0.
She's great.
It's the ultimate sacrifice.
It's like a rhythm section for the visuals on the film.
Exactly.
More than anything else, it's always pushing everything forward in front of it.
This was a tough shot.
He did a great job.
This was a tough shot to do. You still got to, try to make a day.
Well,
this was fun to shoot. I remember the feeling of weightlessness.
And I remember thinking that, okay, well, we've got 3 or 4 little logic things we got to take care of here. We got the CPU, we got the arm, we got, and what we actually, as we were working on the film, we called the Arnold.
The guy that dove over the wall right there was one of the camera assistants.
Well, anytime you go bumping cars, you're not ever really completely sure where they're going to go. I mean, these guys get paid to do it.
So we're mixing process here.
It's dangerous.
We're mixing a lot of rear projection in here.
I think I remembered seeing it the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, your brain fills it in because you already
know. Here is something interesting. We're shooting at 36 frames a second.
I mean, that went away somewhere along the process, probably because we didn't really need it or it was too much on the nose.
Now, normally I don't storyboard a fight sequence. You propose things, you shoot them, you cut them together. Sometimes they work exactly like you had in mind. Other times they don't, and then you adjust. And I think all the scenes we cut were yours. But ultimately, it's the same set of aesthetic filters that are making the decisions while you're making the film as before the fact. So ultimately, you're going to get there with something that feels right to you.
I'll bet you Michelangelo even painted over a few corners of the Sistine Chapel.
No, I don't think so. We basically rented a building and then blew it up. We did it in such a way that the owners actually thought it was funny. They sat nearby and watched us blow their building up.
Well, go ahead.